What is up? And hello, EDC family. Welcome back to the Carry or Bury YouTube channel, where we do strive to be the most prepared family on the YouTube, right? I'm your host, Prophet, and with me, as always, is the Professor. And folks, we've got something special coming for you today. We've got another knife review, right? A full review. So we're going to be playing our full Carry or Bury game. Love it. Fantastic. What do we have today, guys? Boom! We've got a Wee Knives knife on the table, but not just any Wee Knives knife. We have got the Banter, the 2004K Banter. All right, with, I'm going to butcher this, but Cuborsha wood handle, black stonewash CPM S35VN blade. If you want to know anything else about S35VN as a steel, do yourself a favor and go check out Knife Steel Nerds. You can find them on YouTube, and you can go to knifesteelnerds.com, where you will undoubtedly run into Dr. Steel himself, Dr. Laren Thomas. Dr. Thomas probably doesn't know we exist, but that's okay. We still 100% would send you over that way to learn about S35VN or any other blade steel. Quick disclosure today, as always, about today's knife and all other knives and or gear that we will have on our channel. We don't have any sponsorship. This knife here was purchased by us, tested by us, and used in the real world, folks, right? Is this particular knife right for you? Is this Wee Knives Banter even legal for you to own or carry? Well, EDC family, keep in mind, we're YouTubers. We're not lawyers. Please look into and know about your local knife laws. Not sure how? It doesn't hurt to visit and, if all possible, to support the AKTI.org. They are the American Knife and Tool Institute. And as always, those folks over there, they're on the front lines. They're helping us to keep our freedoms and our rights. Now, before we open our knife of the week here, our Wee Knives Banter, let's do a little show me the flipper. That's right, folks. Let's see what Prophet's pocket check was today. So today, folks, I carried something that I think you're going to love, right? This little guy right here. So this is the CJRB Bowie Pyrite. It's got a stunning rose gold finish, right? And it has a button lock and thumb studs for dual deployment. Can't really go wrong there. A beautiful aluminum handle, but that's not about this knife today, right? Because let's be honest, folks, this is probably going to be what we're reviewing next week. If you'd like to see this one, or if you'd like to see something different, just let us know in the comments. So yeah, we had the CJRB Pyrite here. Let's put that up there today. And I know you probably are sick of seeing this one, but I absolutely love this torch. This little guy right here is the Olight Arc Field Ultra flashlight. It has got a fantastic UV light. It has a laser, and it has a full usable multi-flashlight there. Love this thing. It's fantastic. Deep carry clip on it. Can't really go wrong. So those are the two guys that I carried today. And as always, I have my little knife with my EDC pen. I don't know where that is in my little pocket carrier, leather pocket carrier. That's okay. I digress as usual. And I'm sure the professor would like me to get this moving along, as would you all. Again, let's get back to our knife of the week. As I said, this is the Wee Knife Banter. So you've got a cool little slide off thing here. This knife has been opened by us, has been used by us, like I said, so this is not a box opening. But I always try to put them back in the original box so you folks can kind of see what you would get. This little guy, you've got a wonderful Wee warranty information here. You've got a little Wee catalog. You get some stickers, including, the Banter with the Ben Peterson blue. Can't go wrong there. Another little love your new knife, share your experience. And I believe this is knife food. I always forget what this is. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments, but I just assume that's for the knives to eat before they get purchased. And we open our guy up. You're going to get a microfiber cloth, but if you're anything like me, you'll be using either your extra large size or your smaller size carry or bury microfiber cloth instead. You're going to get some plastic on that knife. Let's get all of this out of the way. Get a nice little carrying case as always with Wee Knives. and let's get a first look at her. Get some of this distracting stuff out of the way. Folks, wow. Woo, look at that. Did you hear that open? Although this is the original size of the Banter, you're still getting a sub 3.5-inch liner lock style knife. But before we get into all about the knife, as I'm turning it around beautifully for you all to see, why don't we talk a little bit about the name, Banter? How in the world, Prophet, did We Knives name this the Banter? I mean, does it talk a lot? Is that what it does? No. Folks, EDC family, this little guy right here was lovingly named after the YouTube channel that Ben Peterson, the designer of the knife, helped with while working over at Blade HQ. Now, I don't want to give any wrong information out there. I don't want to say he invented it or he did this, but I know he was there from the beginning and helped make that channel kind of what it is today, and they still do an excellent job, right? Knife Banter is pretty cool. And like I said, that's how this guy got its name. Now, what they'll tell you over at We Knives, and what Ben may tell you, is that the Banter stands out with its compact design, its high quality materials, its name, which we just spoke about, they say reflects its versatility and utility. It makes it an excellent choice for EDC, they claim, with an overall length, opened of course, of 6.52 inches, and a blade length of about 2.9 inches. So you're going to get under 3 inches of knife blade every time. We can talk about if this knife is perfect for you. If you even don't like the style, are there other options? I don't know. But before we do any of that, we have our 3 segments we need to get through, right? The first segment might be helpful. Knowledge is king. As the professor puts the Knowledge is King icon up for us, let's share some insights about Ben Peterson, the designer of the We Knife Banter. You know, Ben is a well-respected figure in the knife community. He's known for his very unique but useful designs, right? That really prioritize functionality and user experience over crazy looks and gadgets and gimmicks and things like that. So how did Ben get into the knife industry? Well, we could kind of go back to his college days. We could do all that stuff. But honestly, it really all started with Blade HQ is where it really got big there, and he got to meet a lot of people. He handled hundreds or thousands of knives. And as he was leaving Blade HQ to move on in his life and out of the knife market, he started having time to develop something like this on his own. So around 2019, we started seeing flashes of this guy on the internet, and it has been 5 or 6 years of this guy just dominating lunch tables, as Nick Shabazz would say, right? Dominating people cutting boxes at work, dominating outdoor activities. You get a nice little lighter weight, deep carry, excellent fit and finish, so they say. So through his designs, Ben does aim to bridge the gap between modern aesthetics and traditional knife making aesthetics and techniques. So I'd be a liar if I said his creations weren't highly sought after. And we hope that he continues to be inspired and bring us new and relatively nice designs. Well, let's say goodbye to Knowledge is King, and let's welcome the Professor's Particulars, where we are all about them stats, baby. All about you and me. All about all the things that you might see through the knife world, baby. I really hope that doesn't make the final cut. Let's dive into the specifications of this particular Banter, which again is modeled 2004K, like kilo. Again, the model name is Banter. We spoke about that at length, I'm guessing. We talked about the overall length being 6.52 inches, but what about if you don't know inches well? You're looking at 165.6 millimeters, folks. The width of the Banter is going to be 1.33 inches or 33.7 millimeters. The overall height of the Banter coming up this way from the table, if you were to lay it down, including the pocket clip, is going to be about 60.66 inches or 16.7 millimeters. Again, that blade length, which is the blade length here where it's resting in my hand here, is 2.9 inches, or again, for our EDC family over everywhere else in the world, it's going to be 73.7 millimeters. The closed length of the knife, that's when you don't have the blade out cutting things, right? 3.62 inches, 91.9 millimeters. But now, Prophet, how thick is that blade there? Because it's really hard to tell on camera, I know that, right? I know it's pretty thin behind the edge. They do a pretty good job with the grind, but what's that blade stock they're working with? You're about 1/100th of an inch. Or 100 thousandths of an inch, or 0.1 inches, or 2.5 millimeters. The handle thickness is just under half an inch. That's going to be at 0.45 inches, or 11.5 millimeters. The knife weighs 2.89 ounces, or 81.8 grams. This particular one, again, this has that, I don't want to butcher the name, Kiabolio wood, something like that. I'll stop trying to name the wood. Now, it comes in great packaging, which we said, but what is that blade made out of? What do we got here? Is it on the blade, or what are we dealing with, folks? It is CPM S35 VN, and KNIFE does a great job at heat treatment. They're heat treating the CPM S35 VN. It's going to be between 58 and 60 on that HRC or Rockwell scale. And we do have a flat grind, but it doesn't go all the way up to the top. It does have kind of a swedgy type area here. This particular blade finish is stone washed, but it's black stone washed. Not really sure how that works. Some kind of coating. I don't have that information, unfortunately. We do have the classic Ben Peterson drop point-esque or CJRB-esque, blade there. We have a wood color finish, and I believe it's pronounced Quiborsha wood or Quiborsha wood. Forgive me. Quibourtia wood. Yeah, wood. I get it. The liner locks, okay, on this guy are going to be stainless, and they are black coated as well. You do have the proper tip up, and it can be left or right-handed carried, because you do have the nice wee machining groove here for the pocket clip to be reversed. Clip is going to be a stainless steel clip. Now, the presentation side pivot on this is actually going to be the 6AL 4V titanium, and the thumb studs are actually titanium as well, and they're bronzed on this. And a really cool thing is you have cage ceramic ball bearings inside this guy, which is why you have that authoritative just click when you use it. And we talked about the designer. It is, of course, Mr. Ben Peterson. So you really can't go wrong there. Yeah, what are you doing, Prophet? I'm just trying to get the other camera to get you a nice close-up look at this guy. Otherwise, the professor will not be happy with me. Obviously, the knife is designed for both functionality and aesthetics, making it really, again, in Wee's words, a standout choice for EDC enthusiasts. But is it a standout choice? Is KarryorBury recommending it as a choice for the EDC family? Well, we got to find out, right? But we've got one more of our iconic segments coming up. Comparison time, folks. All right, let's take a peek. I brought out a Benchmade bug out. My bug out may look different than yours. This is the Northern Knives Spaced Out Bug Out Edition. I, again, don't have the pocket clip on this guy. I keep thinking I'll put it back on for comparisons, and I just don't get to it. But we've got a coated blade again. Imagine this would kind of pick up a little bit. As you can see, the bug out, even though it's not known as a large knife, is larger than the Ben Peterson Banter and the original size Banter here. So that's pretty cool. But thickness, Prophet. The bug out is going to be a little bit thinner than the Ben Peterson knife. And again, without the pocket clip, it's really hard to show you. But they're both going to be taking up almost equal space in the pocket. Width-wise, the KNIFE's is a little bit wider. So another knife that I thought about, since this is known as a very slicey utilitarian, knife that's very friendly in the cafeteria, as Nick Shabazz would say, I brought out a TRM, or Three Rivers Manufacturing Atom. I probably should have grabbed the smaller version of the Atom, the Neutron. Unfortunately, I grabbed the wrong one for the video, but as you all know, it is what it is. A lot of you might own this knife, so you're going to get a pretty good idea of the size difference here. So you're going to have a very big difference, obviously, on the Atom. The Neutron would be a little closer, but that blade thickness, I wanted you to see the difference anyway. The TRM is going to beat the blade thickness on this guy. It's definitely going to happen, but that's okay. Let's get that out of the way. Now, a knife that I know a lot of you probably own or have handled is going to be the Spyderco PM3. This particular PM3 has CTS BD1N steel. We've got the lightweight FRN handles on this guy. I digress, but you have about a 3-inch blade on both of these guys. Okay. You know, you can get different materials on either of these, so it's just maybe a good thing for you to see what these look like next to each other. The Ben Peterson Banter, you can darn near put into the frame of the Spyderco, as you can see here. Thickness-wise, they're going to be very close to the same thickness on these two knives. Both of them are going to be deep carry. The Banter is going to be a little bit more deep carry. Like I said, it's way more of a lunch lady or lunch person's type knife. You can pull it out anywhere. I don't know why I grabbed this knife as a comparison. Maybe it's because price-wise? That's why I did it. So these knives are going to be pretty close to the same price, but the Kaiser Brat is going to be a little bit cheaper. So the KNIFE Banter here, they're going to be starting at around $120, depending on if you can get them on discount. This particular version, I believe, is $137 is what we paid for it, plus taxes. Right around there, $140. And I believe the Brat right now is right around $100. Now, you're going to get a big downgrade in blade steel on the Brat, although you have a full integral handle, which means one piece. Again, these two knives really are just price-wise, and I probably should have grabbed some of my smaller knives to do this. So I'm sure I'll hear about that in the comments. But you know what, folks? I think some of you kind of know what we're trying to do here. We'll call that a day. We're just trying to show you what it will look like, right? Folks, without further ado, and by your request, we are going to jump into our carryorbury game. Remember, the purpose of our games here are to have fun while reviewing a knife, right? Everyone has their own thing. I know we get a lot of people saying, oh, you always have 4 positives and 4 negatives, so there's always a tiebreaker. Yeah, EDC family, we're trying to have fun, right? Let's have fun. We'll start with the needs or positives on the KNIFE Banter. You've probably seen this one coming. Action. 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 Get all 3 cameras in there. This knife is very smooth. It's easy to open. It has the thumb studs, which are titanium. And again, they are positioned perfectly. There's no issue opening this knife. It's thunderous. Now, this next part, I'm going to tell you, is something that you may not agree with, but there's a lot of people that do. The second need on the Banter, design. It is very simple, traditional, but comfortable. And honestly, for Ben's first large-scale release, the Banter is not an uncomfortable knife for a lot of people. Now, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say it's super ergonomic, but it fits in a lot of people's hands really well. It's got, you know, a little bit of jimping there. It really does work for many people out there in that sub 3-inch area. Number 3 need for the Banter, the available options. I'm telling you folks, you go out there, you're going to find anything from donut sprinkled scales to you name it. You can really do so much with these knives because they're so popular out there. And there's so much out there. There's even a lot of third-party things you can do. You want a lanyard? Get a lanyard. You want a really neat titanium pocket clip? Guess what? They're available. You know, you want different thumb studs? They're available. I'm telling you, you won't even want custom scales on these? Yeah, you can get them. I'm telling you, folks, this knife comes in a variety of options. So based on your personal preferences, you can have a lot of fun and make this from blade steel all the way down to pocket clip the way that you would like a knife. Number 4, non-threatening look. Is that a need? Well, if we want to bring more people into the EDC family, you can kind of see where I'm going with this one, guys. So, for instance, Nick Shabazz always talks about the style of knife that you can pull out at the lunch table at work, right? Or wherever. Not at school. Do never bring a knife or any type of weapon to school. But the lunch table at like the office, as for adults, if you're allowed to have a knife at work, right? Check with your boss and all that good stuff, company. But the idea is not to scare somebody. The idea is you can hand this to a non-knife person. That non-knife person can get it, and they can most likely, 9 out of 10 times, open it, close it, and do whatever task they need to do with it pretty easily. I like that because we do want more people coming into the EDC family as we move forward in this life. Now, oh yeah, I'm being told by Professor, he's in my ear. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 4 likes already. Let's move on to the nails, as in nails in the coffin, or the negatives of the banter. The first one, you may not agree with this one, but we may not agree on any of them, right? I'm going to say price. Now, although the banter is made by KNIFE, okay, and not Civivi, although, you know, a seasoned EDC lover will recognize the materials, the machinings, the fit and finish. Again, that's average EDC person. However, spending $140 on a very basic looking knife with no super exotic things or anything like that, it could make some folks question that kind of money. So yeah, we got to talk about it. Let's move on from price and let's talk about the number 2 nail that Professor is going to drop, size. Now, while this knife does get rave reviews, again, from a lot of average EDC users, the size is not ideal for bigger people like Prophet here, right? Or people with large XL, XXL, or up-sized hands. The design is less ergonomic for larger-handed folks. As you can see, you've got kind of a swing out here. The pocket clip is right through the middle, and it gets high here. So if you have a normal or not XL-sized hands, this is going to feel great. If you have larger hands, this is a nail for sure. So keep that in mind. All right. Again, this is opinionated, right? Lack of design flair is going to be our 3rd nail. Some critics find the Banter's design to be super plain and lacking. It doesn't have any super unique features. It doesn't have any kind of fidget factor, or does it? But I digress. We're on nails, not needs, right? Compared to other high-end knives, this knife may not seem flashy, right? But hey, it is what it is. You might find it awesome. This nail is for the people that might find it boring. Number 4, for nail. And yes, I get it. Those are number 4. This one is kind of something that I did some research on. They've actually had some liner lock concerns. While the knife is considered extremely reliable and safe, especially for light tasks, there's some people that talk about the feeling of this particular liner lock, the way that it flexes under heavy pressure can be unsettling. So I've actually did this quite a bit, and I know what they're talking about. When you have a steel liner lock that kind of comes down and it almost looks, you know, like it's not super thick. Let's see if we can get some close-ups here. The liner lock on this guy, I mean, although we've got great lockup, I don't have any wiggle, I don't have blade play. You know, it is a KNIFE's knife. The lockup here is thin, and with the way that it goes into the handle here, the orientation, when you're using this knife a little heavier, you can feel that it flexes a bit. I don't know if that's going to hurt anything, but just keep in mind, if you're going to be using this under really high pressure circumstances, you may feel like it's not the safest knife in the world. Although I don't know if that's an actual problem, it feels like it is, which makes me kind of, you know, back off on my tougher tasks. All right, we got 4 and 4. What were those for? Let's go through them one more time, folks. For the needs, we talked about the action. We talked about the design being simple but comfortable, right? We talked about the amount of options that are available for this guy. And we talked about that non-threatening, you know, give this to anybody type look and feel. That's a positive in my book. The nails, or the negatives again, we talked about the price maybe being higher for some folks for what you get. The size, you know, although, you know, it's great for people with smaller hands, for larger hands, this might not be great. The lack of design flair, or, well, let's just be honest. Let's be bold. Some might consider this knife boring looking. The liner lock flex concern, especially under heavy pressure, was the 4th. Now for the flipper breaker. Let's see if this knife will be carried proudly and needed and recommended by us, or buried in the backyard and have to suffer the horrible 21 flipper salute. All right. Oh, okay. Yep, there you go. It's a need. What is the tiebreaker, you ask? Well, the tiebreaker is KNIFE, hands down. They do an excellent job in blade treatments. They do an excellent job in machining, ensuring that their final product is delivered, scrutinized with high levels of excellent quality control, and even packaging. When you get something from KNIFEs, you can feel the difference. They take in that extra time. They do a very good job. I've yet to find a whole lot of these things coming from uncentered. I've yet to find something having any big issues or being loose. They do a great job over there. And this knife it's probably the reason that Ben decided to work with we. It really is, because if you know anything about Mr. Peterson, the one thing you know is his integrity is there. And he wanted this to be a nice knife and good experience. So given the balance of the needs and nails, again, we recommend you, our EDC family, to go ahead and pick yourself up a Banter if you want. If you appreciate its design, if you appreciate its simpleness, it does have a few maybe drawbacks, especially for larger handed folks. But again, you know, we don't think that that's going to be something too off-putting for anyone. All right, so thanks for joining us today, EDC family. We hope this review of the KNIFE Banter has helped you in your quest to find your perfect or even your next EDC knife. Remember, you can follow us on social media. All you got to do is type in carryorbury, all one word. And with the new year coming up soon, we'd love to see what's in your shopping carts or what's in your pocket right now, right? We love all EDC gear, not just knives. You want to show us your pocket piece. You want to show us your bag. You want to show us anything. We'd love to see it. Now, don't forget, you can carry us with you by clicking subscribe or flipping subscribe, maybe, huh? Okay, we won't get into too much of that right now. It also helps that if you spidey flick that like button, if you want more content like this. And remember, folks, we do have available small and large microfiber towels. There's one of the small ones, there's a large one. And we've got stickers, we've got business cards. We've even got some lanyards for you folks that are interested. Just shoot us a note here in the comments or an email at carryorbury@gmail.com. We are working on our webpage. Until next time, EDC family, keep those blades sharp. Keep those flashlights charged. And if you're anything like Prophet, keep those Band-Aids close, right? We will see you soon, EDC family. Thank you, and God bless you. But remember, we want you to be the best tool in your daily EDC loadout.